Okay, we're here again. I'm Steve still. This is the podcast still, the podcast from Google about SRE and production software. You're John, aren't you?
Yep, my name is John Allspaw.
Yep, cool. You've been at this conference the whole time, I think, so far, right?
I mean,
you spoke, you did a thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You did one thing which was like a workshop-y thingy, and it involved like how learning works.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that all about? So I thought this was an SRE conference. What's going on there?
Yeah. So it may seem strange for learning to be talking about learning.
Yeah, I thought we were doing computers here. Come on.
Exactly. As it turns out, I think it's kind of important. And all of the reasons that there's a whole bunch of stuff that companies, yours included, put together, like this sort of scaffolding that recognizes, at least implicitly, that there are people who are new to the company. There are people who have been around for the company and in the company have seen all kinds of different things, and they are really knowledgeable about these things. There's nothing unique about Google on that front because that's how people learn.
All companies do that, right?
All companies do that, but what do they do? Think about it for a second. You start. If there's an expectation, there's no expectation that the first day you're working, you will be productive and contributing just like somebody who's been there for 6 years.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between that and when they are recognized and being productive? It's out on a limb here. It's because they've learned things.
Yep.
And not all of what they're learning comes on the wiki and is in a formalized way.
Yeah, it ain't all book learning.
In fact, it's not only is it ain't all book learning, but everybody, especially this community, recognize that book learning, not even book learning, let's say wiki learning, because I'm pretty sure there's no computer science course where when you come out, you are going to be able to contribute to Google's code base.
Not yet, maybe. Who knows?
Yes. I'm not good at prediction, so I'm going to...
Fair.
But we don't pay much attention. On the one hand, we spend a lot of time doing interviewing shadowing, and constructing how we're going to interview, how many people will interview you, a new person, whatever. What is that all about? That's all about gauging, evaluating, having some understanding, some picture of what expertise this candidate has. So it's really important, it seems like, established. We should figure out how we keep it. How is it working? The trick that we were talking about earlier today is that it doesn't work like computers.
Yeah.
Computers don't have expertise. We can have analogs to it, but all analogies have loss. And so it's about time. Nothing happens. There's no success. There's actually no failure without expertise. So it's so ubiquitous, like gravity, that it's not even really thought about. And there are people in organizations that do think about it. They're just not in engineering parts of the org. And we're usually pretty full of ourselves. And I mean, all of us, that we know how this works. We don't.
So what's special about this? Like, why are you at this conference? Why aren't you at like the CPA of Americas conference? Like, they also work for companies who need to learn things, I think.
They party hard too. So there is something that's wild. Like, imagine I didn't have a background in software. I would still be attracted to like practitioner conferences and communities like this, because for at least one reason, there's many reasons, but the one I'm going to choose to talk about is that, or to mention, is that we work and get things to do what we want the technology to behave the way we intend it without ever seeing it happen in the same way that we develop a runner, right? Or a weightlifter or a boxer. We don't see code run. We see representations that tell us something about the code running, but you can't go to the data center and say, if you squint, if you look.
Show me the bits, John.
You're going to see, there's the request. There it is. And there's the photo. Oh, you missed it. Yeah. That's not a thing. So we create these models. It has a lot more in common with NICU, NICU, neonatal intensive care, because their patients can't talk to you.
Yeah.
and very similar. So and we're so good at it, and it's as if it's real and concrete. That's what attracts us.
Yeah, I think some of the most interesting cases are when the graphs are lying to you or the system is lying to you. I mean, that's what we say, right? It's not really lying to you. It's just that it always has been lying this whole time. Like, it's always been an interpretation game.
And somebody on the team or somebody that you're working with is like, something feels weird.
Right.
They can't tell you why, but it is weird. There are some people who say, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
There are some people, when they say that, everyone listens because they've got a really good track record.
Can you connect this to the concept of above the line and below the line, just in case people see this term out there in the world, like the idea of the line? What is that line?
Yeah. My colleagues and I put together this. It's not really a model. It's just sort of a description of the world that no matter what company you're in. And there's below the line, there's this line of what we call the line of representation. And below the line is all of the technical stuff, the wires, all the code, all of that. And above the line are all of us.
Right.
And we only understand how things work below the line by building stories. Mental models aren't pictures, they're stories. And we build those and we refine them over time. But we're so used to it that below the line feels concrete, but we never get to see it really in any way. But it's still good. We're still good, shockingly, at understanding it.
So is this not happening in the CPA's world, or is it happening less?
It
seems like it would happen in medicine.
It is happening in medicine, absolutely. The thing there's all kinds of differences and similarities. The world of accounting, which I don't know very much. There's certainty, uncertainty, and ambiguity, but I can't imagine that it's as dynamic. I could be wrong, but if things are changing all the time, your ability to influence those things are finite.
Yeah.
And by the time you could possibly get a map, it would be stale.
Yeah.
So don't even try.
That sounds familiar.
Whereas GAAP, accounting guidelines are maybe they're not as static as aren't time zones are actually not very static, are they? But they're a bit more static.
Yeah. Money doesn't flow at gigahertz speeds, probably. I'm guessing, but
it does not flow at gigahertz speeds.
Well, on that, thank you very much, John. That was fun. That was a quick one. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference as well. Thank you.
Sounds good.
You missed a page from the telebot.